Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty Group, and welcome back to this week's Pick 5. Now this week I want to talk about a classic type of Toronto real estate, one that filled the need for a lot of buyers for so long, and that is condominium townhouses. And why I refer to this as classic and why I say that it fit the need was because for the longest time, folks that wanted to get into the freehold market, and I'm talking when these condo towns were 400 or when they were $1,000,001, for the folks that couldn't afford the freeholds but were so tired of living in the condo or were coming from an apartment or another place in the city, in the province, in the country, where they just didn't want to be in a condominium apartment, well, condo townhouses were the perfect fit. So condo townhouses are like freeholds in a sense that most of them are 2 or 3 story. They have some rooftop space, which is like maybe a substitute for a backyard in a typical house, and they're not part of a large tower. An important note in today's Pick 5, we're not looking at, you know, the condo townhouses that are in the base of a large tower. Say you've got a 25-story tower, but then you've got 16 condo townhouses on the main floor instead of commercial retail. No, we're excluding those. We're looking only at standalone condo towns which are laid out in a grid like we're going to see in Liberty Village or up at Dundas Street East, for example. And we're going to look at the following things to put it into perspective. Now, we're keeping this consistent looking at 2 bedrooms. We want to look at layouts. We want to look at number of levels. We want to look at number of stairs because, of course, when you've got a 3-story, that's great. But when you're getting 850 square feet, how much of the 850 is stairs? We want to look at outdoor spaces because this is crucial. This is why so many people like condominium townhouses. We want to look at, is there anything below grade? So some of my favorite units out in King West, they've got a main floor that's a huge living dining kitchen with a wood-burning fireplace. Oh yeah, it's not showing you that today, but those are very common. And then you've got the bedrooms below grade. Now, if you're sort of half grade, does it still count as a basement? We want to look at exactly where the square footage is located. We want to know, is it direct access? Do you have a front door? Are you going through a building, for example? Is there a courtyard? Is this a complex? Is there underground parking? How many competing units are on the market? Lots of questions. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. Now we're going to start today at 88 Munro, Townhouse 5. Now, location is crucial. So when you are looking for a condo townhouse, I'm going to assume you're probably not looking at, I don't know, the 32nd story, and then you're looking at a condo town. No, you want a condo town, you want a condo town. Everyone I've ever sold a condo town to, they came into it saying, this is what I'm looking for. Then you go and look at location. So there's only so many complexes in the city of Toronto. This one here, and we can zoom in, they've named them after some people that I like to think I know a lot about the history of Toronto, but I don't know who Florence Weil is. If I continue to zoom in, are they going to show it to us? Florence Weil Lane, there it is, and Frances Loring Lane. Kay McPherson, I don't know, were they suffragettes? Were they women that introduced the vote back in the day? I have absolutely no idea, but I can assure you I'm going to Google it as soon as we're done here. So this is Dundas, this is the Don Valley Parkway. Don't worry, you're not feeling the DVP from there. But what you could feel is Leslieville, which is, well, you know, it's on Queen and this up at Dundas, but it's really not that far. I like this location. I like this style. This is $780,000. This is 885 square feet. It's 259 square feet of outdoor space. It has parking. And then look here, main, upper, it's nothing below grade. So let's take a look at the photos, and we're going to go back to pricing after this as well. So from the outside, nice, pretty red brick, wide boulevards. You've got, as you can see, your own individual entrance here. So far, I'm liking what I see. Nice little staging here with the 2 fedoras. There's our first staircase, right? Some people are like, oh, I walk in, I see a staircase right in my face. You get upstairs, you have your 2-piece powder, and then here's where I really want you to say, how livable is it? You've got your kitchen. People would say, I want to open this up to let the light through, but you've got to have somewhere to put your pots and pans. You've got your little dining room here. I feel like I've been in this 1,000 times, guys, and I have. I'm going to show it to you. We're not looking at finishes today. We're looking at layout. We're looking at value. You ready for it? Not that. They're killing me here. That's a lot of photos. This is what I'm looking at. You have to walk past your couch, assuming your TV is there, to get to your staircase. So yeah, again, I mean, you're living in a basement apartment and you're like, David, are you making fun of this beautiful townhouse? No, I'm just saying that layout is so crucial. There's a lot of stairs in condo townhouses, and what we're seeing here is that you've got your little dining table, and then you have a 2-person couch, facing the wall with like 6 feet of difference, and then it's on the way to the staircase. So just saying, just saying. And there's a lot of photos here of inanimate objects, which always drives me nuts. Here's perhaps a better example. This looks like it's in the way of your staircase. This is a pantry. Guys, I've been in this model 100 times. Now finishes, I said we're not going to care about finishes. Of course, you've got your original carpets. You've got your pedestal sink, which isn't good for storage, but then they put the storage unit there. Okay, so yes, they know where you're going to put paper towel and toothpaste and stuff. Now you get upstairs, and again, you see more carpet. See the natural light up there? That's important because obviously we've got a 3rd story. So on the 2nd floor, you've got your bedroom here, your bathroom here, and then another staircase that's bringing you up to the top, which is part of the reason why people buy these things in the first place, is that you have a beautiful rooftop terrace where usually you can barbecue. So there's your bedroom 1, and there's your inanimate object photo, of course. That's fine. They did a really good job staging this. I got to hand it to them, and I'm not going to knock it. So now you go into what is your 2nd bedroom. They've turned it into a little TV area. That makes sense because downstairs they didn't have a TV. They just had that couch. But if one of your bedrooms is your TV room, because your TV room is a sitting room, then is it a 1 bedroom? That's not meant to be a riddle. So you go up the staircase here. That's your bathroom, of course, and to the rooftop. Yes, this is why you're buying one of these. You have a nice rooftop terrace. This doesn't look like the most appealing, but they can probably jazz this thing up. I think they did a drone shot. Yes, here you go. You can see these outdoor spaces. These people have put patio tiles. These people have a barbecue. They've got resin wicker furniture, which they've covered for the winter. That is your ultimate goal, as opposed to just this kind of ugly, you know, this is builder grade. And I think they've got another, yeah, there you go. So you can see how they're all laid out. So this, guys, this is the alternative. If you can't afford a freehold, but you don't want a condo, you get into a condo town like this. And of course you have, you know, your own front door. Now, price, I mentioned price. This is $780,000. It's been reduced. But if we go and look at this one here, $825,000. And this one sold in February for $825,000, 885 square feet. And where were we? We were over here, 885 square feet, $780,000. They factored it in. 825 in Feb, they're at 780 now. Okay, yeah, they're working with the market. But as we continue to move on, and we're gonna look at some other units where we can see a lot of folks aren't. So the next one here is 3 Shank. Shank, of course, is a verb to be used in prison. Also, well, could be a noun to be used in prison. It's a sharpened toothbrush. It's a shank. No, you didn't see Oz. Fine, I just thought it was cool that they named a street after what people get in the stomach in the show Oz. Man, HBO, that takes me back. Okay, so where are we on Shank? We're not getting shanked. We're going to visit Shank. This here. And I mentioned some of those really older but great value 1,300 square foot townhouses where you've got the bedrooms in the lower level. You will find those in and around this area here. So it's not Liberty Village. In fact, we're going to come back to that. It is along King Street. Some people want to be right in the village because there's all the infrastructure here. Some people don't because it's super congested. But I like this unit. It's $849. It's got our terrace. The fees are a little bit expensive, but it's 1,090 square feet, which I actually think is really, really good value. And then let's scroll down here. Tucked along a quiet tree-lined street just steps from Trinity Bellwoods Park. Yes, absolutely. That is why you're doing this. You want the condo town, you don't want to be in Liberty Village because it's too busy and you're surrounded by condo towers. You pick that up and you put it around the corner, and this, my friends, this is Shank. Now, main and second, so again, we're not below grade. That is important to note because I did mention that this area has those units. Of course, they're larger, 1,300 square feet. Wood-burning fireplace, which I love. Now this has the electric fireplace, which I would absolutely rip out because I feel like it kills the flow of the space. But it's a bigger principal living dining. And this one's a little bit nicer. So from the outside, yeah, do you really care? Is there a curb appeal for these condo townhouses? Inside, a little bit more renovated. You're gonna get your 2-piece powder as well. That to me is a better layout. Remember the first one that we saw, you had to walk around everything to get up the staircase. So they're killing me here. So many photos, guys, today of inanimate objects. There's, what is that, a pear? I don't know. But the kitchen's a little bit more open concept. You can see another inanimate object. Oh my God. So there, a little bit more open concept. This one is renovated, but this one's $849. And I can say that this absolutely would have been over $1 million at the peak. This is the type of unit that people were lining up to bid on. These things would have had, you know, 13, 14 offers back in the day. And see how I said this was a little bit better laid out? I almost feel like I need to take that back in that the other one had a dining table here, this one had a couch here, and the wall there. Sort of yes, no, maybe. It's not as big a wall here, but it is a bit of a similar L shape as you get around and up to the staircase. So many photos of inanimate objects here, guys. I feel like I want to start skipping. But upstairs, they've done some killer built-ins. That's absolutely amazing if you value it. If you don't, you move on. It's not the right unit for you, because one thing people don't like doing in this market is paying for someone else's design choice and finishes. Now, this to me looks like what might have originally been a 2-bedroom, and they've taken down the wall. I had a client do that once and make a big open concept, because this, guys, is a bedroom, don't get me wrong. A lot of these units were 3 bedrooms back in the day. Maybe that's why it's 1090 square feet. And then you've got actually room to put your stuff and things, which is something you're not going to say about most condos in the downtown core. So once you get upstairs, you can see, compared to the last one, which just had that like ugly kind of plastic rubber floor there, which I showed you through the drone shot, the neighbor had put some really nice Trex decking. This one they actually did finish with wood. It's getting a little worn down here. Who did I have? I had a client that, yeah, those guys moved to Montreal. We sold their unit. I think that was pre-pandemic, but man, they did well on that. It's funny how many people bought for 400 and sold for 900, you know? There was a time when a decade takes you from 400 to 900, and they had this almost identical model, and this was really upgraded as well. Okay, so I'm gonna skip through, guys. We'll keep going. In the interest of time, 3 Shank, gotta love it, 849, nicely renovated, 1090 square feet. I actually think that's a pretty good deal. We're gonna go now to Liberty Village. So I don't think I need to explain where Liberty Village is for you guys, do I? What is this here? Okay, so this is Liberty Village. So long time ago, Liberty Village was just a barren wasteland, and it was the CN rail yard where they just, you know, put all their crap. There was an old jail down here too, that building. If you're ever going through Liberty Village and there's this derelict red brick building with a park on the other side, that was an old jail, you know, 100+ years ago. And then you had the very first ever townhouses that were built in Liberty Village. And I seem to have lost my bearings here. Oh yeah, we moved the needle accidentally. So you can see here how they're all laid out in concentric rows. This is Western Battery, East Liberty, and then Pirandello Street. You'll get a Pirandello address. So when I started in real estate and these were first built, there was nothing around here. It was just townhouses. Now there are so many condos, and I would say the optimist side is, hey, listen, a condo townhouse is a fantastic investment if they're not building any more of them. They'll never build condo towns again because they can build up in the sky. Why would you build condo towns? The pessimist side of me says, my God, is Liberty Village ever busy? So let's take a look at the unit that's up for sale. This is 849. It's 970 square feet. Guys, it's been on the market for 70 days, which is not uncommon. We have a terrace. We've got parking. This one's going to feel very much like what we've seen already, but I want to compare and contrast. Again, here's the streetscape. It's a beautiful courtyard in there, I will say. I'm just going to take you back to the map for one quick second, right? All these lines here, this is paths leading in between the courtyards of all these units. And then we'll go back to here. See this? Nicely landscaped. We've got our hydrangeas here. It is very quaint. It is very nice. It's just super busy around there. So get into the units, right? You can see condo towers all over the place. So get into the units, and very typical. We've seen this before. We've got our long hallway that leads to our staircase. We have our 2-piece powder room as we go upstairs. And then in here, what we've got is original finishes. Original counter, it's not quartz. Oh, what are we gonna do? It's not granite. We've got our original laminate flooring. And this is important because I'm gonna show you 2 other units for sale after we take a look at this one, which is 2-piece powder room here, our kitchen with the hanging down cabinets, which is exactly like the first one that we saw, the dining room here. And guys, seen one, seen them all. Doesn't this feel familiar? We're gonna have to walk past our couch to get to our staircase, which of course leads us to our bedrooms upstairs. So I don't want to say seen one, seen them all. This one's a slightly different layout, as you can tell, in terms of that staircase position, right? But you know, you're still around the same square footage. Oh, this one looks like we've redone this vanity here. Our tile's original. Do we want to see the beds? Yeah, okay, sure, why not? We can see that. It's nicely staged and everything. Then you get upstairs, and they did do a really good job up here with their staging, but I would, you know, maybe put down some Trex decking, maybe put some planter boxes around here. I know you're not supposed to attach anything because it's common elements, but you know, when I had my big terrace, I remember there was a small balcony over top of me. So I had a 440 square foot terrace at 230 King. And then the person above me had what I called the penalty box. It's like the 4x6. God, I'm such a jerk. I took a masonry bit and I drilled into the concrete slab underneath, and I put in some bolts and twisted in some hooks, and I put Beautiful planter baskets there. And then, I don't know, maybe someone ratted me out, and the property manager, Glenn, he sent me a letter and he had somebody come in and fill those holes. And then a week later, I drilled them again. And I said, Glenn, I can do this all day. I might edit that part out because it makes me sound like a jerk. No, I'm not. I just sometimes have a habit of getting what I want. So point is, there is common elements that you're not supposed to touch. Yeah, okay, drilling into the concrete slab. His argument was that the entire building could fall down, Glenn. No, but there are things like Christmas lights. People will put them up there. You're not supposed to. At the end of the day, this is your space, but you don't own it. So there might be a Glenn that comes and tells you that you can't do that. So what I wanted to show you guys was this. These two units. This is $879. It's the identical model, but guys, this one's fully renovated. And so when you take a look at this kitchen, doesn't it look familiar? Let me go back. Here's a unit that we just saw, and I said it's original finishes, and I kind of, mocked, oh no, we don't have our granite countertops, how are we gonna live? But if you were to compare to this, which is the identical layout, 970 square feet, fully renovated, guys, this is priced at $879.9, and this one here, as we saw coming into it, is priced at $849.9. You might say, David, why didn't you show us the photos of the renovated unit and include that in Pick 5 today? Because I'm trying to prove a point. The point is, guys, that there's a lot for sale. These guys at $849, these guys fully renovated at $879 on the market for 24 days. And then, you ready to throw a wrench into our plans here? There's another unit, 998 square feet, $799, but with an offer date. If you're a buyer and you're looking at a condo with an offer date, you should laugh and then laugh a little bit more. Hey, listen, I got condo listings, but I'm a realist. We're in a terrible condo market. The agent that's got an offer date on the condo, oh yeah, good for you. It's not gonna work. You're not getting multiple offers. You're not tricking the market. A unit like this will probably come back out at their real price, but it goes to show you that we have competition. So again, wanted to show you the one that was unrenovated because we're trying to tell a story in today's Pick 5. I would assume that some people are watching this for educational purposes. Now, 8 Drummond, Unit 417. I have a client out here. I think we got the very, very first unit on the resale market after this development was done. Now, where is 8 Drummond? So I'm taking you way out, guys. I'm taking you to Jeff's No Frills. No, I'm taking you, among other things, to Jeff's No Frills. But this is Royal York, and this is near the Mimico GO. So I had a client purchase out here because it was back in the time when you were like, I need as much space as I can get, but I still work downtown. This client would walk 6 minutes to the GO train, drop them right off at Union. Boom, done. The irony is, for this client, from her original condo, it would take 45 minutes to get to work when you live in the downtown core. But when you can go from Mimico GO to Union, it's an absolute game changer. So location-wise, listen, Jeff's No Frills. But these units, 1170 square feet, they're $859.9. They've got parking, they've got terrace. I think you've seen enough photos to understand that for the most part, the layouts are all kind of similar. Definitely a newer complex here. This layout's different where you've got it long ways as opposed to the L shape that we saw so much in the last 3 places. Much more realistic living dining. Of course, it feels nice and bright and open and airy. We've got our brass plated light fixtures here that certainly don't feel like, what was Liberty Village? That was like early 2000s. Those are getting a little bit worn. Now this here might date us a little bit. You probably wouldn't see that countertop today, but on the whole, it's much newer, nicer, brighter, definitely with those light fixtures. And this, I really like this principal living space. So you have this teeny little balcony here. Don't worry, that's not the only piece of outdoor space that you've got. Again, finishes here. We've got oak staircases instead of the carpeted ones that we saw in Liberty Village. Our bedrooms are a little bit bigger, right? You can see out here a little bit bigger. Our bathrooms are a little bit nicer as well. And then, as is the case in Liberty Village, right, we've got another staircase. We've got hardwood instead of carpet going up to our nice big outdoor space, which again is more modernized. We actually have a floor here, or a tile, let's say a wooden tile, as opposed to Liberty Village, where we just had that rubber membrane. So nice outdoor space. And I'm gonna skip through this one a little bit quicker. There's not much to see out here, but it's the price, guys. It's the price that I wanted to talk about. So we're $859.9 here. And then here we've got an $823 sale that's from November of last year. And we've got an $840 sale that's from June of this year. So guys, these are the I wouldn't say identical models. This is a 2-bed, 3-bath. This is a 2-bed, 2-bath, but it's around the same square footage. And then here we can see we've got our 2-bed, 3-bath. So for $859,900, and we're on the market here in November of 2025, and then we go look and we see we're 2-bed, 3-bath. This was $823,000 in November of 2024. Listen, this is a gorgeous condo. I think that this area is undervalued. As I mentioned, you can live out here and get more space and get on the GO train, but it's the price, guys. It's the price. There are a lot of folks that are in the market right now that, whether they paid $1 million for this or whether there's a comp that was selling for $1 million, when you simply look at the direct comp to this unit and when it sold and what they're listed for now, the pricing, well, needs to be, what's the expression? You need to sharpen your pencil on that one. So let's go to the last one here, guys. And I've got a few more comps for this. This one's interesting. This is 20 Merchant Lane, Unit 221. Now this is a monster. This is 1,265 square feet. It's a 2-bed plus 2 dens, if you will, 2-bath. Now it's a 2-piece on the main, so don't get too excited. It's not an additional 4-piece bathroom. Then you've got main, second, and third, but that's not your outdoor space. That's what they've called a loft. So with a lot of these, when you go up the stairs, at the top of the stairs, instead of just a door to go to your outdoor space, you've actually got what is a den for many people, a home office. So fully renovated, extra lovely. You've got a direct, what is that? No, that's the Juliet. But where's your dining? Where's our dining? Okay. More inanimate objects. It's back here. This is a very, very long floor plan and priced at $940,000. The staging's amazing. The photography's amazing. Like this is not, I want to say this can't be staging furniture. It's too nice. So this is either the best stager or this person has such nice stuff and such nice taste that this is actually theirs. So it goes a long way in this market. I can tell you that while you want to say that you wouldn't be fooled or, motivated by the furniture and the presentation, most people are. There's a reason that we do it. There's a reason that we stage, and that's because, well, people buy with emotion. Now you can see here, this is original, this is original. So they've super modernized the furniture, and there's some, light fixture upgrades and that sort of thing, but if you look closely enough, you'll see, yeah, okay, carpet, that's original too. And then we turn this into a nursery, and I want to show you that +1, if you will. Right? Or sorry, it was a +2. Yeah, here's the plus. So when you get up the stairs, you've got this whole extra room. And I've sold 1369 Bloor. No, not 1369 Bloor. But the complex actually is right across the street from this. This is Merchant Lane, and there's Rattan. Forgive me, I can't remember. Well, it actually is Bloor. It's a Bloor Street address. But I had a client buy this about 1.5 years ago, and of all the things that could have sold them on it, when we got upstairs, this was it. This was that extra. They had a kid. They needed the nursery, they've got the extra bedroom, and then you get up to the top, you're like, there's another room here? Now theirs was way longer. So they actually said, we won't put a TV on the main floor, this is gonna be our TV area, and then of course you have the walkout to your outdoor space, which in this case is very, very nicely presented. And it was taken before our snowfall. So you've got a little playground here. This is a really good listing, whoever did this. This is a good one. So the comps, guys, here's, I wouldn't say the rub, but you've got, this is 1,265 square feet for $940. You've got 1,252 sold for $970 in February, 1,252 sold for $955 in January, and another 1,252 sold for $987 in May. Here we are at $940. The question is it enough of a discount to what the comps are? Now, some of you might have seen this, SC sold conditionally. Well, somebody liked it enough, and we don't know what the sale price is going to be because, of course, that's not released until the deal actually firms up. But suffice it to say, the renovation, the space, 1,265 square feet, that's a really big unit. And then the fact that you've got 2 bedrooms and then you've got 2 pluses. This thing is more or less future-proof for that particular buyer that is maybe can't afford or doesn't have the wherewithal or can't take care of a freehold home, and most certainly does not want to get into that cookie cutter condo. So that is it for this week, guys. Comparing and contrasting across the board, all 2-bedroom units. Some of them had a full second bath, some of them just had a powder, some of them had no extra den. The last one that we saw had 2 dens, or the pluses if you will. Some had underground parking, some had surface. Some of them dated back to the early 2000s, and some of them were only 5 or 6 years old. Some of them were overpriced, some of them weren't. Some of them had tremendous competition on the market, and well, some of them didn't. It's a lot of some ofs, but that is my point about the market out there right now. It is fast-paced, it is frenetic. I mean, sales are slow in that regard. We could talk about the slow pace, but in terms of keeping on top of it, it's a lot of information for one video. It's a lot of properties, and it's a lot to keep track of. So I certainly hope that I helped you do that today. That's it for me, guys, for this week. Thank you so much for watching, as always. And if you want Pick 5 to be emailed to you directly, go ahead to TorontoRealtyBlog.com, click on Pick 5, sign up, and you'll get an email notification. We typically launch on Thursdays and Friday. Folks, thanks for watching. You have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.